We've been conditioned to think of the internet as something weightless. We imagine our data as pulses floating through the air, carried by satellites and Wi-Fi signals in a vast ethereal cloud. But that cloud is largely a myth. Between 95 and 99% of all global data traffic actually travels through a hidden physical network of fiber optic cables lying at the bottom of the ocean. The economic scale of what flows through those wires is staggering. The SWIFT banking network alone moves roughly $10 trillion in transactions across these lines every single day. If they were severed, the global financial system would effectively stall within hours. Yet, this crucial infrastructure is surprisingly fragile. A standard deep-sea cable is only about the thickness of a garden hose. It sits completely exposed on the ocean floor, vulnerable to dragging ship anchors, heavy fishing nets, and underwater earthquakes. The wireless convenience we enjoy every day depends entirely on these hidden physical threads resting in the crushing depths of the sea. Nowhere is that dependence more tightly squeezed than in the South China Sea. It is one of the busiest shipping corridors on Earth, creating a congested and heavily contested choke point for the world's internet traffic. With so much overlapping maritime territory claimed by different nations, a damaged cable here is rarely treated as a simple accident. It immediately becomes a strategic diplomatic lever. Nations like China use their expansive territorial claims to subject foreign repair vessels to immense administrative red tape. While a standard cable fix might take a week elsewhere, securing permits in these disputed waters can trap maintenance crews in limbo for up to 40 days. This turns bureaucratic paperwork into a quiet weapon. By intentionally delaying repairs, a nation uses administrative law to dictate exactly how quickly its rivals can regain their digital lifelines. Severing a connection is a blunt instrument. Historically, major powers found a much higher value in keeping the cables intact, allowing them to quietly listen in on their adversaries. During the Cold War, the U.S. Navy adapted specialized nuclear submarines to operate dangerously close to the seafloor to accomplish exactly this. By intercepting those pulses, the United States gained an invisible intelligence advantage, listening to Moscow's most sensitive plans without ever triggering an open conflict. Today, those copper lines have been replaced by fiber optics. Modern data is transmitted using rapid pulses of light, traveling through fragile glass strands that are as thin as a human hair. This diagram illustrates the extreme engineering challenge of tapping a fiber optic line. To intercept the data, a technician has to precisely slice the glass and insert a recording device without interrupting the flow of light. It's a feat of micro-alignment that normally requires a sterile, high-tech lab environment. If we zoom out on this system, we find the hardware vulnerabilities. Every 80 kilometers along the cable, there are signal amplifying units called repeaters. Inside these metal boxes, the individual fiber strands are unbundled, making them easier to isolate and target. To exploit these specific points, the highly secretive USS Jimmy Carter submarine was reportedly retrofitted with specialized saturation diver chambers designed to carry out these deep-sea optical heists. This advanced deep-sea engineering allowed American intelligence agencies to vacuum up vast streams of global internet traffic as it transited the ocean floor, a surveillance reality exposed to the public by Edward Snowden. The ability to manipulate these fibers at depth allows a nation to monitor the world's most sensitive traffic without ever leaving a trace of the intrusion. Covert deep-sea espionage is risky and complex. Today, global superpowers seek a permanent advantage through network centrality, the outright ownership of the physical pathways themselves. Beijing is aggressively subsidizing domestic firms like HMN Tech to capture a massive share of the global subsea market, directly challenging the long-standing dominance of Western infrastructure companies. The goal is weaponized interdependence. If a massive volume of international data routes through your domestic hubs, you don't need a spy submarine to monitor it. You simply watch it flow through your territory. Physical ownership also provides a crucial new advantage through software-defined networking, or SDN. This map shows how SDN technology allows operators to dynamically manage data flows. If a nation controls the software running a cable, they can quietly reroute global traffic through a third-party country for interception, all without the original sender ever noticing. Owning the infrastructure transforms a nation from a passive participant into an active global digital gatekeeper. This intense rivalry between the US and China is actively fracturing the Internet's physical architecture into a bifurcated system of competing technological ecosystems. Smaller, rapidly growing economies, particularly the nations of Southeast Asia, find themselves caught squarely in the middle of this infrastructure tug-of-war. For these countries, awarding a cable contract requires high-stakes digital hedging. Choosing a Western provider invites delayed repair permits and diplomatic retaliation from Beijing, while accepting subsidized Chinese infrastructure risks security blacklists and sanctions from Washington. The stability of the global internet is being decided in the darkness of the ocean floor, one cable at a time.